In 300 BC, there was a wealthy trader named Zeno living in the bustling city of Cyprus. His life was full of prosperity, sailing from Phoenicia to Piraeus, carrying goods that he had carefully accumulated through years of hard work. But in a single cruel moment, everything changed. Zeno's boat sank, and with it, all of his riches. Everything was lost, not by choice, not due to his actions, but because of the unpredictability of nature. Imagine yourself in Zeno's shoes. In an instant, your entire life's work is washed away, gone without a trace. The world is cruel, and life can be incredibly unpredictable. You might feel anger, despair, or frustration, natural reactions to such a devastating loss. But Zeno didn't react in this way. Instead, he turned to Stoicism, the philosophy he would eventually develop that would transform his understanding of life's unpredictability. When Zeno was faced with this immense misfortune, he didn't fall into the usual patterns of anger or regret. He understood that life will always present us with challenges we cannot control, but we can control how we respond to those challenges. This is the core of Stoicism, the distinction between things we can change and those we cannot. Stoicism teaches that the only thing we have complete control over is our mind, our thoughts, our actions, our responses. Most of us in Zeno's situation would likely be furious at the unfairness of life. But for Zeno, the key was acceptance. He embraced the fact that, while he couldn't control the sinking of his boat, he could control how it affected him. Rather than letting his emotions spiral into despair, he chose calm, clarity, and resilience. And this is where Stoicism can have a powerful impact on how we live our lives today. We are all faced with setbacks, obstacles, and unexpected difficulties. Some of these we can't foresee, like an unexpected illness, the loss of a loved one, or an unforeseen financial setback. But how we respond to those challenges determines our peace of mind and our growth as individuals. Today, Stoics are often viewed as unfeeling, emotionless individuals, but the reality is far deeper. The original Stoic philosophers, including Zeno, saw Stoicism as more than just an emotional shield against hardship. It was a worldview, a way of understanding and navigating the chaos of life. Rather than suppressing emotions, Stoics focus on building a mindset that allows them to deal with those emotions constructively. Stoicism encourages us not to eliminate our feelings, but to separate them from our actions. Yes, we feel sadness, anger, frustration, and joy, but those feelings don't have to define our reactions. We can choose how to act despite them. A Stoic, when faced with adversity, doesn't immediately react in panic or outrage. Instead, they step back, assess what is within their control, and act with wisdom. This mindset leads to what Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, called inner tranquility. The calm that comes from knowing you can control your actions, even when you can't control the world around you. In life, we all experience what we call bad things, but the Stoic perspective challenges this notion. A bad event is not inherently bad. What matters is how we perceive it. Stoicism teaches that everything we experience is an opportunity for growth. If you lose your job, it may be an opportunity to pursue something you're truly passionate about. If you experience illness, it may teach you gratitude for your health once you recover. Every challenge, no matter how painful, holds the potential for us to become wiser, more resilient individuals. The Stoic idea of reframing is incredibly powerful. It's not about denying the negative aspects of life, but about recognizing that everything, good or bad, can be seen as an opportunity for improvement. Even the most painful experiences can be turned into stepping stones for personal development. And in modern life, this is more important than ever. We live in a world that is constantly shifting, with expectations from society and pressures to constantly chase external rewards, money, fame, possessions. But Stoicism teaches us to turn inward, to find contentment and fulfillment in ourselves, rather than relying on external circumstances to define our happiness. One of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy is the dichotomy of control, the idea that we must separate what we can control from what we cannot. In life, we often waste energy and mental resources trying to control things that are beyond our influence. The weather, the actions of others, the future, they are all things we cannot control. What we can control is how we respond to these events. We can choose how to act, how to feel, and how to grow in the face of adversity. This principle frees us from the burden of trying to control everything and allows us to focus on what truly matters, our own actions and mindset. In today's world, Stoicism can still be a powerful tool for personal growth. One of the Stoic exercises that has been adopted in modern times is voluntary discomfort. This exercise involves intentionally placing yourself in uncomfortable situations to build resilience and gratitude. For example, you might sleep on the floor for a night, take a cold shower instead of a warm one, or restrict your food intake to simple, basic meals. These practices help you realize that even in discomfort, you can thrive. You're preparing yourself mentally to face challenges with calm and composure when they inevitably arise. In a world where we're constantly bombarded by advertisements and social pressures to have more, be more, and do more, Stoicism provides a counterbalance. It reminds us that true happiness is not found in material wealth or success, but in the virtue of our actions and the peace we cultivate within ourselves. Life is unpredictable, and adversity will inevitably come our way. The Stoics didn't sugarcoat this truth. They embraced it. They understood that suffering is a part of the human condition, but they also knew that how we respond to suffering is what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that when bad things happen, we should not lament them, but face them with courage and resolve. We cannot control when misfortune strikes, but we can control how we rise to meet it. In this way, the Stoic approach doesn't deny the reality of hardship, but teaches us to meet it with strength, wisdom, and dignity. The beauty of Stoicism is that it's not reserved for philosophers or the elite. It's a philosophy for everyone. From the Emperor Marcus Aurelius to the slave Epictetus, Stoicism was accessible to all. It's a universal guide to navigating the complexities of life with grace and resilience. In fact, Stoicism can still be applied today in modern psychology, particularly in therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, which helps individuals identify and challenge negative thought patterns. By changing our thought patterns, we can change our emotional responses and lead more fulfilling lives.